3 degrees outside. And let's see. Yeah, the snow's still coming down. Feels like -9 degrees. You're probably experiencing this too. This winter storm is apparently happening over most of the country. Funny how things like this happen when there needs to be a distraction from fraud in Minnesota and stuff like that. That magically, weather events just happen. Well, it's all right. We're going to be looking at some Mad magazines this morning. And at least that's my plan. I planned to do that in the last video, and I don't know what happened. The video just shut off. Where is the vacuum cleaner is my question. Oh, yes. Thank you for telling me in the comments down below where the vacuum cleaner is. I appreciate that. Here's some food, Drew. The little cat stole my seat, man. What's going on? My wife says, don't run the vacuum cleaner during the show. That's showing that you don't care about the people that watch the show, but that's not true at all. I had to clean the floor a little bit. Hello, says the small cat. Okay. Yes, indeed. We're looking at Mad Magazine, is what we're doing. And I'm writing on top of the lid which issues I have, because that way I'll know which issues I have. Okay, so I guess I should re-show them so you don't have to watch the end of the last. Here's a copy of issue 16. And I have some other the early Mad comic books in another box. They should be in this box, but there was some EC comics. I gotta fix that. Maybe I'll do it later in the show. Here's issue 32. Here's issue 40, which is the last one I showed when a moment ago. Okay. 41. What is this cat doing behind me, man? $41. 42. 43. 44. Oof. I should take this out of the bag. It's one of these half-price books. Ow! They don't bag and board them very well. No, it is actually is not from Half Price Books. It's from Doc's Records. It's a really good record store in Fort Worth. But yeah, this is. I'd rather have it not bagged than against some board that's clearly not an acid-free board, and it's got this giant amount of tape. Okay. Ugh. I'll get some new magazine bags and boards at some point. Okay. This one is not in good shape. There, Doc's Records. Oh, look, they used the back of a record album. They cut some crummy record from Let's Sing the Holiday Songs. They cut it to size. Wow. Yeesh. Yeah, this is not in good shape. Anyway, this was from a used bookstore in Sacramento, California. Apparently someone circled the 25-cent price tag. It's a Christmas issue. I could definitely use an upgrade in this. I think I got this not long before I moved from Texas. Anyway, I highly recommend Doc's Records. It's a tremendous record store. But in the back, they have all these booths, people that are set up selling mid-century collectibles and all kinds of... It's like a really cool antique mall in the back of a record store. So I recommend the place. $44. Here's $47. Wonderful, masterful parody ads. There were no ads in Mad. William Gaines thought it was this great Wally Wood art wasn't good. if he had a parody of a Coke ad and then had a real ad from Pepsi, it wouldn't. He just decided he would not take any advertising money. And of course, then Mad changed hands, and in recent years, they had real ads in it. But this is June of 1959. And Mad still comes out as kind of, sort of, but mostly as a reprint magazine. I think just to keep the name out there, copywritten, something. 48. Here's 51. Write this down. 48, 51. I'm just writing it right on the lid. Here's another copy of the same issue from Doc's Records. And same issue. I've got it against... I don't know if there's acid in a the cardboard from a record, But I just don't like it them bagged and boarded this way. So especially not with a giant piece of tape. This one, it looks like I paid $3.98 for it. I see it's got a horrendous problem with spine roll. This is this record that they cut. They just cut record. So I've never seen anyone do that before. Finian's Rainbow. I guess that was a record that had no value. Oh, I can stop this because I don't need to record The Lost Saucer. Not that it's a bad show or anything. It has a great theme song. But this means that I can show you that Sticky Goose video I was talking about in the last episode. Since as I was recording, but now I'll record this opening theme, which is a great song. But anyway, but I don't know if it's gonna get me a copyright claim, so maybe I shouldn't. Okay. What do we got here? We have 19 minutes left on here. Okay. Now this Sticky Goose has a video up where he's looking through his father's comic book collection, and he doesn't think much of it. You can tell, and it's unbelievable. Let's take a look at this. Oh, wait. Sticky Goose. What a horrible name for a channel. Okay. All right. Okay, anyway. This is Sticky Goose's delivery. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am going to show you some comic books that were from my father's collection, and I think they're all terrible, and I'm going to show them to you. Okay. That's the way he. Of course, he's got probably 1 million subscribers, but and I've got like 47 subscribers, but. Anyway, let's view this. Okay, so I wanted to show it earlier, but I was busy recording cartoons, which I do every Saturday morning. Let me extend this tripod and see if we can do this. Okay, because you won't believe this collection. His father's collection is amazing, as you can already see. It's all the stuff that a modern new collector wouldn't care about. Of course, they wouldn't care about this, but it's all the stuff that I love. So get the stereo sound going. Okay, and then I'll provide my commentary. Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about my dad's comic book collection from when he was a kid. This is a collection that I really talked about quite a bit on the channel, but I've never really shown it all off in its entirety.
Great
It's
stuff.
kind of just been sitting there for, I guess, going on 6 years now, and I've kind of talked to my dad about the collection and what we want to do with it, and he's pretty adamant about wanting to pass it down. Those were his words. Well, the other day, or I guess a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe, I was talking to him, and I was, I've really been downsizing, getting everything out. I'm down to about like a short box and a half. And I was like, Dad, don't you want to like look at your comic book collection? Like, don't you want to have it? And he just keeps like putting it off and putting it off. And I'm like, I mean, if I were him and, you know, he wanted to go through this, I would think that he would want to have it at his house, but I don't even think he wants it at his house. So
basically, it's presented. This is stuff that why would I want this stuff in my house? These terrible 1960s comics. That his dad's only wish is that he pass it down in the family. But it's just like, I can't. I've already sold all my comics. I only have I have a short box, and I just can't have this stuff in my house. How small a house does he live in that he can't have five long boxes in a closet somewhere? That's his father's wishes, and these are great comics that he's poo-pooing because they're not key issues. Let's look at this.
you know, so I've got it at mine, and this collection, if you're new to the channel, this is kind of what got me started in collecting comics and single issues. Is we found my dad's collection in
Great stuff.
Basically like a storage building. It was like a whole ordeal. Like we couldn't find the key. We had to cut the lock. It was epic. This was like, it was like one of the best days ever. And we went through this, and I sorted it, and we bagged and boarded it, and it was me, my dad, and my wife, and we just really bonded over this to the point where, you know, I really got into collecting single issue comics. So
look how quickly he goes through. Who wants to look at that? And it's all great, but it's just not key issues. It's not valuable. And I don't collect single issues now. I only collect omnibus.
Collection is special to me.
This collection is special to me, but I can't have it in my house. Dad, can't you just take it away from me? It's special, but it's not key issues. And I have been told to only get key issues.
But at the end of the day, I mean, there's only a few books that I would keep, or they would feel special, and one of those is the Batman 181, the first Poison Ivy, the first Batgirl, Tech Comics 359.
Tech Comics. Don't ever call Detective Comics Tech Comics. He thinks he's this comic book expert. Yeah, he's learned about comics. That issue of Dracula is hilarious. It's Tony Tallarico art. I hate Tony Tallarico, but that issue's great. It's one of I remember the Monster Times had it listed as one of the worst comic books of all time, where they turned Dracula into a superhero. They did the same thing with Frankenstein. Dell did that back in the 60s. There's so much great stuff he's flipping past that it's just like, who would want this? Maybe some of the Batman. Oh my gosh.
And there's a few other ones, like there's an Animal Man book, a couple Wonder Woman books that you're seeing. But I mean, ideally, if I could just like narrow this down to like one long box. So if you haven't really noticed already, this is a massive World War II comic book collection, meaning that it's war books. It's not from World War II. That would be insane, but it's predominantly DC war books. Now there are some
which are great, but Comic Tom 101 doesn't approve of them, so he can't approve of them.
Hero stuff that you'll see, like Justice League, you're seeing Wonder Woman, Aquaman, there's some Batman, Detective Comics, a lot of Superman, a lot of action comics, but there's really no Marvel. There was a few Marvel books in the beginning, but my dad was really not a Marvel reader or collector. He really didn't even like Marvel.
Most kids didn't. You've been lied to. My older brothers were the same way. They didn't like Marvel. Marvel was becoming popular, but it was more. Eventually, you know, kids caught on when Fantastic Four and Spider-Man became cartoons on Saturday morning. But really it was more of the college students catching on to Marvel, and and kind of the weird kids that kind of thought differently were aware of Marvel, but well, most kids were buying DC and Gold Key, and Archie. Girls were, and Mad Magazine was out selling everything. But this is a fantastic collection that this father has. Oh, I'd like to just narrow it down to one box with the key issues.
Well, he bought, which you'll see here soon, is the Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos. Looking at this collection now, I thought that this was like a massive collection. And I mean, I think it's like, what is it, 5 long boxes and 1 like oversized short box. That's a pretty big collection. I mean, but to the point where my collection got, or when I bought other collections, like this is nothing. Like it's like a drop in the bucket compared to what I had and how overboard I went. This collection is from somebody that, he went to the newsstand, he bought, I guess he bought them at the grocery store, but I think that there was an actual newsstand in downtown in our little town that he would go to. And the story he tells is his dad would like give him some money to give to the church. And then he would not give the money to the church. He would buy comic books. He might not like me telling this story, but it's just too funny not to tell. It's just too cute, where your dad is like giving you like 25 cents or whatever. I mean, you could buy a couple comics for, 12 cents a piece, and then end up not giving it to the collection plate and then giving it to the newsstand guy. It's hilarious. You can kind of see.
Yeah, that's hilarious. The guy, regardless of whether the money was ill-gotten, has great taste in comics. He's buying all the stuff that I love. I haven't seen a bad book in there. And this is given to him. Just pass it down to the family. No, could you take it back? I just don't want these comics around me. I only like omnibus.
My dad's, like, he would kind of like test certain books. Like, he got several of these like Inferior 5 books, which I'll always remember Inferior 5 because of Animal Man. Like, one of the crucial parts of Grant Morrison's Animal Man is the Inferior 5 come in and they meet Animal Man, and one of the big things of Animal Man is like, what is real? Are any of us real? And like every time you read a superhero, they get reborn again. And these Inferior 5 are like the most forgotten heroes. So they live in this realm of like forgottenness. And
that's the 80s, when these warlocks took over comics. These British, Scottish warlocks show up, and it's like, what is reality? I'm going to put all of my warlock Aleister Crowley stuff in these comic books. I'll sprinkle it like fairy dust in my intellectual art school. Inferior 5 is a great comic. He says, well, I think my dad was just experimenting, buying a few issues of this and a few issues of that, trying to find out what he likes. That's every comic collection from back then is like this, because he didn't have unlimited money. Of course, you didn't have every issue. You didn't have a complete run of things. You bought a few things because you didn't have unlimited money, like this guy apparently does when he bought everything during the pandemic.
Animal Man's like there with them because he's like a no-name hero, and he's like talking to them, and they're like, remember us? We're the Inferior 5. Like, people cared about us, and they're like fading into like non-existence. Oh my God, I love that comic. I'm gonna read that again, but he's got some more fighting army stuff. And then he was really into specifically Superboy, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen, and then Superman, obviously, Action Comics, and then the title Superman. and you could tell he liked Batman too, but you could tell that Superman was his favorite. And if anybody knows anything about the Superboy run, there's really no really super valuable books in there unless it's early on, and that's like first Bizarro. And unfortunately, Dad did not have that. And that's a book I would like.
It's like, oh, it has to be confirmed as valuable as a key issue. All these books are fun. They're all, it's so sad to look at the world like these comic collectors do.
To get at some point, but that's still a pretty expensive book. That's old Silver Age. And I think that's like third Batgirl there. But where you're looking, like in this time period, this is 12 cent, but a lot of this is kind of late Silver Age. Now some of them are kind of like mid Silver Age, and there's a couple 10-cent books, but this was really kind of his favorite thing, was this Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos. He has issue number 3, and a while ago, it's been a couple years ago at this point, I bought him Sergeant Fury number 1, first appearance of Nick Fury, graded, and he's got that hung up in his house still. So he loves that book. I don't think he ever had that book, but I thought that was a special piece. And he had a couple Mystery in Space. Just you can tell like he's just like testing the waters. Like he's like, okay, maybe Teen Titans would be cool, or there was only like 5 or 6 issues, so I guess he would like get bored with that. There was quite a decent bit of Flash, and he had a couple really good Flash and Superman books, like Superman 199, Flash and Superman race for the first time, and then they race in the Flash book. But when we started finding like the Batman and the Detective Comics, I was like, okay, these are the awesome books, and these are the ones that I would not want to sell these, because they're something that I like, something he has quite a bit of. I think this is second Poison Ivy here, but these are just such cool classic books, and that's like Joker's, like, I don't know, he had like a evil little person there. He had these, he loved the 80-page giants. You could tell, like, he's trying to get some more bang for his buck. But a lot of these books, as you're seeing, like the Classics Illustrated, I know some people collect these, but a lot of these books are not really something that a lot of collectors...
This is going to happen to all of our collections, except the only thing is this guy's actually knows about comics, that's going through them. I mean, because he's learned from YouTube what's valuable, but most people that have giant collections, their heirs will go through it that don't have any knowledge of comics, and they're going to just think it's all garbage, and or they might think it's all valuable because they heard that Action Comics number 1 that someone found in a stack of newspapers in the attic sold for $30 billion, and then they're going to think every comic's worth. I don't know, but the TikTok generation will not care about these books. So anyway, it's depressing.
I know that there's a lot of guys that do collect war books, but they are, I'm assuming, they're getting fewer and far between. They're fewer and fewer every single day. And then
they're old people like me. Yeah, they're just because
pal Jimmy Olsen. I mean, I think the only issue in that that anybody cares about is the first Dark Side.
Anybody? I'm somebody, Mr. I like them all. What about the issue where Jimmy Olsen marries the gorilla? That's not a key issue to you?
Which is arguably not his first appearance. It's like the Forever People 1 is his first appearance. And then you're seeing here just like a few Marvel issues. He had like Marvel collector's item, which was interesting to me that there was a comic called Marvel Collector's Item at this point. So it was like, even at this time, And there's First Animal Man in his costume. I actually forgot we had another issue of that. I'm glad I have that because I actually sold my other copy. But you can tell, like, even at this time, or it was turning into, these were collector's items. I didn't realize that. I thought that the whole like collecting trend didn't start until like the late 70s, 80s, but apparently that's not true.
Apparently, but why didn't Comic Book Tom tell me that? Stupid. Of course, people were collecting comics. And Stan Lee was always marketing right back to the early first appearances. You know, this was a big collector's item, a Marvel masterwork, and and wow, listen to this guy.
I didn't really think that these were considered collector's items, or they were trying to market them as collector's items. Also, newsflash: if something says collector's item on it, it's probably not a collector's item. These are Star Spangled War stories. I thought this was interesting because these are all like dinosaur covers, which are really cool. But it's
At least he acknowledges that they're cool or interesting, but I'm sure he would not save them. For I'm sure these are the most amazing stuff ever.
interesting that that Star Spangled War Stories did that. I guess they were just trying to do something different. And this was funny. This was that Enemy Ace book. And if anybody watched our when we went to Heroes Con a couple years ago, Dad was like furiously trying to find that book because he thought that was one that he always wanted. Well, it turns out he has that book, and I didn't even realize it until today when I was making this video. So that's hilarious that he already has a copy of this book. So he's going to get a kick out of that when I tell him that. But yeah, I mean, more war books, more GI combat, war stories combat, and then the Lois Lane. I think Lois Lane #1 is valuable, and then I think the Lois Lane, there's something in the 20s, like it's the first Silver Age Catwoman. And there might be another couple Lois Lane ones. Oh,
it's all about what's valuable. The other ones, they're just, yeah. It's just, listen to him sigh. Oh, more war books. Oh, Lois Lane.
There's definitely a good one. Another good one is where she like body swaps, like race swap.
This has had 4.5 thousand views, this video.
She wants to live as a black person. I love that book. This book is hilarious. I also have this oversized box, and this holds magazine size bags and boards and magazine size books. I think that's first Jetsons in a comic. I'm not sure. You guys have to let me know in the comments, but a lot of these are the oversized classics illustrated, and then a lot of these are Mad Magazine. I am not really seasoned on Mad Magazine. I know the first issue is obviously sought after and rare, and it looks so different than as the Mad Magazines go later. And then a lot of these are like books that have no covers. So I just kind of like put them in there. And then he had these like little books. I don't know what you would call these. There was a couple cool ones here. There was specifically this like Batman and this Joker book. I thought those were really cool. And there's like Adam West on the cover. I thought that was kind of neat.
Little books.
But to finish it up here, it's more Our Fighting Forces.
Great.
And then there's some Superman, Action Comics, Adventure Comics. I'm not going to show all these, but this is what I'm sitting on. I don't know what Dad wants to really do with these. We'll find out. What do you guys suggest that I do? Hold on to them, sell them, keep them? What do you think? If at any point in time you like this video, give it the thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.
I want them to be passed down in the family. Why is that so hard for you to do? I just can't have the just war books. Oh, I could not own a war book. Well, oh my gosh. This guy's got 16.1 thousand subscribers, and I've got, what, 900? So that's how people think. Well, that's fine. Um, I'm not bitter about it. That's just the way the world is, man. I've always known people are stupid or ignorant or, just don't know any better. I don't know. Back to my throwback TV, free TV zone, throwback television. Click to watch it.
Push Stanley into the
They're showing
right now, lady. Good work, fellas.
showing old Laurel and Hardy cartoons. Laurel and Hardy were gone, but I guess the estate of the to approve this cartoon of late 60s. All right, let's get back to Mad Magazine. Oh, so let's go look at the snow, man. What am I talking about? I think it's still snowing. I just checked a second ago while Sticky Goose was talking. And it's just, that I disagree with the way that Sticky Goose looks at comics. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. He does good things. He's a dentist that helps out poor kids in the Appalachian Mountains, get their teeth worked on, that have no money. I guess he's a wonderful guy. I just don't like his view of looking at comics, so it irritates me. But I don't hate the guy. I'm sure he's wonderful. He just needs to be taught by someone other than Comic Tom or Mint Hunter Comics or Swaggle Horse, Swaggle House, whatever. Yeah, the snow's still coming down, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of cold out here on the porch, though. Let's get back in. Hey, Drew. Man, it's a mess. I need to clean up while I'm trapped in the house. I mean, I guess I could get out in this weather. The snow's not that deep, but I've got some food in advance of this winter event. Capturing AC/DC. Okay. Where did I put my reading glasses? Man, I was going to go to the doctor yesterday, but the weather made me cancel my appointment. And the little kitten was supposed to get some shot today, but I canceled that. And they didn't have one for next Saturday, so we have to go in 2 weeks. I don't even like these shots, man, but if you don't give your pets the shots, then the vets aren't going to want to work on the pet if something really bad happens. And but I don't think indoor pets need these vaccinations. That's what I think.
Deliciously potato, incredibly crisp. One of Keeper's good snack crackers.
But I don't know, man. 2 nights ago, I'm on my way home, and I'm pulling into the garage, and my wife tells me there's a bat flying around the house again. And then later that, I thought, well, the bat must have gotten out of the house, because I don't see any sign of it now. And then, we heard the chirping of the bat, that sound bats make, and it turned out it was coming from under our bed. And then I see Ambrose, the black and white cat, coming from under the bed with a bat in its mouth. And I wanted to rescue the bat. So the bat went down the cat went down the servants' stairs, and I come downstairs, and I see the bat right back here by that red couch was laid out on the floor and couple of cats were looking at it, you know, ready to torture it. But so I got a little plastic waste trash can and put it on top of the bat, and then I didn't have, we haven't gotten any pizzas lately, but if I could get a flat piece of cardboard and slide it under, then I could lift that up, the trash can upside down with the bottom and the bat's in it, and then I could take it to the door and let the bat free. But what I had to do is just slide the trash can slowly towards the elevator door, get the bat into the elevator, and then go down to the garage level and let the bat go into the garage, which is what I did. And I saw that the bat had a hole in one of its wings, pretty substantial hole. But the bat kind of flew a little bit, but I figure there's probably some way to get out of the garage somehow. There's some way a bat could get out, but I guess the bat is probably dead in the garage. But bat's going to be warmer than it is outside. I don't know where bats go when it gets this cold. I don't know where anything does. This cartoon, Cool McCool, was created by Bob Kane. When Batman was on TV, people thought, well, Bob Kane must be a genius. Let's get him to create more stuff. But, of course, Bob Kane never really did much in the creation of Batman other than maybe coming up with the name. Almost everything else we know about Batman was created by Bill Finger or Jerry Robinson. Bob Kane did basically nothing. Everything that people say about Stan Lee, which I disagree, I think Stan Lee was very important in the creation of those, in the writing of those characters and the personality of those characters. But Bob Kane just hired other people to do the work for him and put his name on it. That's the guy they should be pillorying. The pillorying. Does that sound right? That's the guy they should be crucifying, not Stan Lee. Yeah. So, how about that? But this is really more just an imitation of Maxwell Smart. It's not a bad cartoon, but and I think he also, before the Batman series, Bob Kane created another cartoon that was a variation on Batman and Robin called Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. But I think that was more in the early 60s, maybe the Kennedy era, maybe right when Kennedy, about 1960. So I guess there are a couple of cartoon concepts that are Bob Kane's. Okay. Well, am I recording this? I don't think I am. Yeah, I didn't start the recording. It's all right. I've got all the Cool McCool cartoons on a DVD, I think. This is number 51. I think Kevin just got a copy of this. See, these are the small books. As Sticky Goose was talking about, they were called small book. No, they're called paperbacks. But that's the first printing of Son of Mad with the Kelly Freas cover. That was all reprints of the early Mad, the EC comic book Mad.
You finished my puzzle, number one. Thanks a million.
There's a parody of a teen magazine.
We have a visitor. British agent Fenwick George.
How do you do?
32 British agents have been stolen by Dr. Madcap McCool. You'll help Mr. George find them. You can count on me, Mr. George.
Man, look how they draw Sal Mineo. That's hilarious.
Neat trick. Obviously,
Fabian looks like Eddie Munster. That's fantastic. Great.
so that madcap can't force any secrets out.
There's a guy that looked like this that used to run a record store in Arlington, Texas. It was called Connoisseur's Groovy Oldies. And it was a record store right next to a little kung fu karate school where they taught you how to do kung fu. And when one of those kids from the karate kung fu school walked over into his store, he'd say, "Get your dirty feet off my," if they tried to come in barefoot. Yeah, he would pull a gun on people very quickly. He was nuts. He was like Phil Spector kind of nuts. And he cherished his 1950s records. And man, if you start looking at the 1950s records without his permission, it's like, get your hands off my 1950s. I guess he was the same way about all of that I am about that Silver Age comic book stuff. It's like, man, don't put it down, man. There's the mad straight jackets you could get. They'd have ads for their own products, just not for other sponsors. 51.
Those country secret agents are in here. Will they be glad to see me? They didn't even offer me a ride home.
Great job, McCool. Let me shake
Here's 53, but boy, is it in bad shape. Look at that. Eesh.
Never happen again, number one.
on sight, you nit.
But technically I own it, so I'll write it down. Here's 54. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape. This beautiful Kelly Frias art.
Now, number one thinks me the
How many ways can he hurt himself today?
for the name of cool. But in the days gone by, right up at the top,
54,
he was my
55. We're up to 1960 here.
So, as mayor of this fair city, I present you with this extremely
What time is it?
solid gold key to
At 9, they start a superhero block on this channel. On Saturdays they show Marvel superheroes, and on Sunday they show DC heroes. 56, the election campaign's going on. John F. Kennedy, Nixon.
Extra, extra! Flying demon strikes again. Police are baffled.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled. Everything. What say, Harry? Ooh, what do you say? He said he's baffled.
Oh, wow.
And hungry.
It's a mad comic opera, and it's got this great Wally Wood art.
But how the dickens are we gonna catch him? What's faster than an airplane?
There's Tarzan singing.
What do you say, Harry? What did he say?
Dagwood's been shot to death.
There'll be jet planes that fly 600 miles per hour.
No. Jet planes?
600 miles per hour?
Look at this, Flash Gordon. And
What do you think of that?
It figures a little mustard.
No, Tom.
Superman's knocking a guy's head off.
We can capture the flying demon.
Oh, it still figures a little mustard.
When I say three, open the nozzle. 1, 2,
Look at a grown up little orphan Annie there. You see that? Yeah.
Right, say, Harry? What did he say? That you were right. It needs mustard.
There's a finale with, look at all the cartoon characters singing. This is the kind of stuff that you don't see reprinted that much. Stuff like, I don't know why. I mean, someone should put out a book collecting all the Wally Wood art. They have a book with all the Wally Wood art from the color comics, but he also continued working, at least for a while, in Mad as a black and white magazine, and it was always Mad always paid well. I mean, William Gaines wasn't cheap. He paid well, and then he took his staff every year on a vacation to some part of the earth. The thing is, he didn't give the original artwork back, and that was so he could do the reprint books and the paperbacks, and because he didn't give the original art back, that allowed all those wonderful EC reprint editions that are still being published today and were done back in the 80s, and the hardcover editions from yeah, it was there's a good reason for a publisher to keep original art, or at least good photostats of it, but I don't know that they had the ability to do that. So
That's easily taken care of. I'll just pin my badge on it and make a mistake. I christen you Harry McColl's jet bike badge number 743.
yeah, it's still snowing out there.
Look, it's a flying demon.
Another man, that forest man.
Why, say, Harry? What?
Mad, like the Archie comics, is a good way to go back through time, through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're actually very educational. There's another copy of 56.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
57 from September of 1960. Of course, the election would be in November of 60. Let's see, hold on a second. 7.
So all cops are dumb, eh? Not Harry McCool, wherever he is.
Okay, now the first Mad I ever got was a Mad special that had this on the back cover from about 1970, and this is 1960, so I remember this. This was already a 10-year-old parody of Campbell's soup. Let's see, he's putting a fake bug in his soup so he can he can complain and get the food for free. So it's called Sham Bugs. This is actually a pretty nice condition copy. Here's Beatnik Magazine, the magazine for hipsters. The artist is George Woodbridge. Now that I think about it, was that That was Wally Wood a minute ago. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that was Wood. Here's another one by Wood.
Oh, yes, sir. You may see the prisoner.
See the guy's getting sprayed with machine gun fire.
I hope you have learned that crime is for the birds. I don't give a hoot what you say, McCool. I'll be out of here in a matter of hours.
A lot of wood art.
And you'll be in this nest for neeps. I mean, in this nest for keeps.
Who's that behind me? Oh, that's Ambrose. See that? Ambrose is here. He's the guy that killed the bat. Well, technically he didn't kill it, but I could hear that the sound of the bat getting weaker and weaker. You know, like it was.
Your next assignment is to get the owl.
There's Fidel Castro doing a testimonial.
Yes,
September 60, so we're coming up to the election
we
here.
were lucky enough to get movies of the escape. Lights on.
Do I have time to get some popcorn, number one?
Good call.
Here's another copy of 60.
Security. No dynamite. Lights on. Now, since his escape from here an
Wait
hour
a
ago,
second,
2 more
what?
buildings have been blown up just that way. And robbed, too. The 11th and the 12th
That was,
National Banks.
no, that's 57, not 60. That was September of 1960. The issue was 57. Here's 58.
Now, can you tell us
But
if
58, that's another Kelly Frias. Later, Norman Mingo would become the main cover artist. But in this time period, Kelly Frias, famous, he did a tons of great science fiction covers. This is from Doc's Records. But it's, again, sealed with a piece of cardboard. And I'm breaking these out of these bags because it's not an easy. See, it's a big long piece of tape. I'm just gonna reboard and bag this at some point in the future. Let's see what this was cut from. Looks like it was a classical album cover. The Concert Library of Recorded Masterpieces. They probably threw the record out and created a backing board. Ooh. This one's had some bug chew. This is actually the first time I've opened this book, clearly, since I bought it, and which is a shame. I don't know why that is. Yes, I do. I bought it right before I moved from Texas, and then A Child's History of the Middle 1900s, 1940 to 1960. And it's an actual textbook. Wow. How is the future going to look at? Of course, we are in the future now. Fantastic. And they would sell this statue. I have an Alfred Newman statue, but it's not that statue. I do have one of these portraits that they used to sell for a quarter. Yeah, this thing's had bug chew. I hate that. That's something I try to avoid. But, okay, so this is 58.
100-pound canary is finished. I guess you'll have to keep it on ice, kid.
Oh, 59 is a great one. It's the December issue, although it came out at Halloween, because comics magazines, well, this is a comic, it was they were dated with a two months in advance. So when this is on the stands in October, it's dated December, and then the newsstand, the newsstand people would pull this off the stands by, they know that like December is its expiration date on the stands, basically. That's what's going on. And they would usually have a 2-month window. Okay, here we come. That's 59. It gets confusing because the issue numbers are right with the, it's number 59 from 1960, so you get confused. 57, 58, 59. Okay. Yeah, this Cool McCool's not really the greatest cartoon, but there are worse ones. 60 is, ooh, that one's not good. 60 is a famous issue. I have 2 copies of it. Both of them are kind of brown around the edges. Now, what they did here says, Mad congratulates Richard Nixon upon his election as president. We were with you all the way, Dick. And then if you flip it over, Mad congratulates John Kennedy upon his election as president. We were with you all the way, Jack. So, somewhere on here is a note. Where is that? Okay, well that's interesting. So, the Nixon, you can open it up and it reads this way. And if you can open up the Kennedy one and it reads correctly, and then right in the middle, see how far that goes. Actually, the Kennedy one is the, let's see, how far how far into this book? Okay, anyway, they really have 2 letter pages and everything. I thought there was a note in here to the newsstand dealers what to do. This is are you doing your show? My wife is asking me. So basically what happened is they wanted to scoop all the other magazines. So if Nixon won, the newsstand dealers would put all the magazines, like the next day, they would have them facing this way. And if Kennedy won, they would turn the books, all of the books on the newsstand this way, so that the next day they would have this out. And, Time Newsweek would take days to get their copies printed into the newsstand, so Mad would scoop everybody. That was the idea of that. And I've got 2 copies of this. But the other one's in even worse condition. And then this one, no matter how you look at it, it's going to be a mad year. The first upside down year since 1881. So no matter what you do, it's 1961. I wonder how long until there's another, how long until there's another year you can do that with. You'd have to scramble those numbers to get. Man, it might be thousands of years until you could do that again. That's actually pretty interesting. Ooh, this is kind of weird. That's yeah. I don't know who thinks of who wrote that article, man. Who did that? Larry Siegel, man. Oh man. I bet they got some complaint letters about that. We're in March 61. This is 60. Wait. Is that where we're at? Or did I skip? 61.
What is that, a whale? Maybe a shark. We can't.
That's interesting. This the Kennedy side doesn't have the issue number. The Nixon side has the issue number. Does that mean that the staff at MAD thought Nixon was going to win? I don't know. I know that William Gaines was conservative. 60. Okay, so this is issue 61 from 1961. So I gotta concentrate or I'm gonna get confused here. Yeah, the Funny Company is not one of the best cartoons either, man. We're sort of kind of hitting some weak spots here. 60, 61.
Your whisper is soft and pure.
Let me go see what my wife's up to. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. Well, I'm back. I am going to show you. Now, I don't know what gives me the right to make fun of someone that has 16,000 subscribers. Obviously, he's popular, and I'm not, which is fine. I've never been popular my entire life. Oh, there's Batfink. That's a good cartoon. Yeah. The public has spoken. The Grottu Orloff show that's what he was saying. He said once that he was talking about, he makes fun of the older comic collectors that do shows and calls them sticker people. I guess because some of them give out stickers with their name to promote themselves. I don't know. I mean, he's always been he's been a dick to everybody, so I guess he can take it. I just can't stand people talking about my Silver Age comics, man. Okay, so where are we at? We're at, oh, my wife was just wondering, what we're gonna eat. 62. Oh, this is a great one. Tomorrow's Parents. It's the Elvis, the 50s generation when they grow up. What are they going to be like? And of course, their parents are the opposite. They're the opposite of rock and rollers. Another Wally Wood. So,
Don't shoot till you see the whites of their ease. I got my beeps right between the e's. Charge!
see, and then there they are as grandparents. Their kids are these straight-laced people, and then their grandkids are rock and rollers again, running to their grandparents because the style has come back. Probably a lot of accuracy to that. Sometimes it happens that way. Mad Magazine, I don't know why people don't love this.
Do you surrender, Batfink? Never. Prepare for aerial attack.
Look at this. More fantastic Wally Wood stuff. It's like he enjoyed doing this gray tone stuff. Drew, you got some food right there. Drew's ignoring her food and going after the cat food.
This may be a trick, Karate.
Okay, 62.
And now you are faced by firing squad.
But you no longer have an army.
No, but I still have a navy. Blindfold? Thank you. Blindfold?
No, thank you.
I'll take his blindfold too.
Okay.
In case you shoot holes in this one.
Damn, man.
Aim! Fire!
As the naval guns fire, that Fink and his faithful friend face a fearful fate. Well, blow me down. They'll be
Here's
blown up.
63.
It's a good thing
Budweiser.
you did, Karate. And it's a
Sadder
good thing
but
that
wiser.
What are you gonna do now, Hugo?
We're in June of 1961 now.
Go down with the ship.
Here's your prisoner of war, Chief.
You go a go-go? Your
So
military
63.
career is over. You'll get 10 years for this.
Couldn't you give him a lighter sentence, Chief?
Why, Karate?
After all, he is a veteran.
Here's 64. And I apparently have 4 copies of issue 64. But this is an interesting. Oh. Did this one go through a fire? Why is it so much different? Oh, this was a joke they did back in the EC comic book days, trying to make it look like a composition book so you can read it in class and the teacher won't know that, won't be able to tell that you're reading that.
Tomcats, two back Sunday mornings
Yeah.
at 6 on the Throwback Television Network.
Okay, so 64 from July of 61. I have a pretty substantial run. Don't even realize it. Yeah, my wife's got to brush her teeth, and she brushes her teeth first thing in the morning, which I guess makes sense. I always would eat and then brush my teeth, but she said that's the way to do it. Here's 65. The cat's gone under 65. Here's another copy of 65. Was this done on purpose? Buying multiple copies? No, but it's this is a good special where they it's a fake Sunday comic. They did a whole comic supplement from a Sunday newspaper that was a free thing, and in this particular Mad magazine special, it was Mad annual number. No, it was the Worst from Mad, which was the 4th annual Worst from Mad. $65. $66. every time I see this cover,
Police headquarters, Professor
I
Grottu, the mad musician of
it's beautiful art, but it always kind of makes me wince a little bit. I'll show you why.
You'll love this, Chief. The professor made his cello in the hobby shop.
Alfred Newman's at a presidential press conference asking apparently a really stupid question to John F. Kennedy, and John F. Kennedy's going, I can't believe he's asking me something so stupid. It says, this issue will make JFK mad, mainly because he isn't mentioned once, but just the way he's holding his head, and that in particular, just, for obvious reasons. But look at how the press is kind of giggling and looking back at him. And this is Kelly Frias art. The way he's able to get that kind of sweaty look, that's kind of like his thing. He can convey the moisture on people's faces. That's what I've always to me is indicative of his art is just the greasiness of Kelly Frias. All the aliens, everybody in Kelly Frias. I don't mean greasy in a negative way. It's just everybody in Kelly Frias' art looks like they've been rubbed down with Vaseline. And around this time, the Spy versus Spy, and this is not Spy versus Spy, but it's the same artist. He's doing something a little different here. But he came over as a refugee from Cuba and didn't speak any English, but which is why Spy versus Spy is doesn't have words. I'm just kind of a little confused because I remember seeing this article not long ago in one of the earlier issues. I guess they reprinted it, but normally they don't reprint in the main magazine. They reprint in the thick specials. Yeah, I swear I saw that in an earlier issue, 66.
I'll turn you into a human tuning fork.
I have another copy of that issue here. Let's see, you don't need to see it. Another copy. 67. The logo fell on him. Oh, it's Fool-Aid.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a wise crap.
And really, the concept of wacky packages, the little stickers that were so popular in the early 70s, really comes from Mad, in their advertising parodies. And that's what a Kool-Aid package looked like back then, with that font and everything. And
Swan song for Bat Thing? The chasm yawns beneath him, but we'd better stay wide awake for the crashing finale.
So
There'll be no more cracks out of you or your cello, Professor. What's that?
It's only me,
how
Bat
about
Thing.
that?
Just digging this crazy mountain, man. Just digging this crazy mountain. Yeah.
And of course, I love Mad Magazine. And then when Wacky Packages hit the school in 1973, I was ready for that fad. I didn't buy into every fad that came along, but the Wacky Package thing, that really captured me. 66, 67. Oh, I'm missing 68.
Another mysterious tornado is approaching the city. The 8th one this week. Clear the streets. Board up your windows.
67, 69. Okay, at least the numbers are getting away from the year now. We're on issue 69, and it's March of 62. It just got confusing when the issue numbers got so close to the year. Here's a parody of the Saturday Evening Post. What does it say? I cannot but wish that our American printers would in their editions avoid these fancied improvements and thereby render their works more agreeable. Mad salutes all them dizzy layouts and bold editorial ideas that are supposed to make reading a new adventure in the allegedly revamped but actually same old tired. Okay, so basically this was the new look for Saturday Evening Post. They changed the look of it, and that's something that means nothing to us now, unless you happen to have a bunch of old Saturday Evening Posts. You can look at how it changed in the early 60s from the traditional look and logo. So some of these are references to things that are so topical that we may not get the joke now.
I'm on my way, Chief. My supersonic sonar radar.
Fantastic. 69. Oh, I have 2 copies of this issue.
I can sell everything here except those beeps. Beeps? That thing.
70, April of 62. God bless our fallout shelter.
Not only found the tornado, they were in it.
Number 70. How about that?
I'll give you $1.50 for that piece of junk you're driving. This is not junk. It is now.
Oh, I'm missing 71. Here's 72. Special 10th anniversary issue.
Your junk cannot harm me. My wings are like a shield of steel.
Wings of steel, eh? There's a lot of money in used wings of
70, 72. Gotta write these down.
Horror of horrors! That thing's wings of steel, weighted down by the cable, have turned him into a human drill. I always thought that thing was
73.
What a screwy way
Warning,
to
do
go.
not look at the back cover of this magazine.
You can be sure he'll
Once you look at it, if you do not buy it for your own, you die.
It's an oil strike.
So that's their mystic symbol. 73. I wonder if that actually scared some people.
Intentionally penetrated an oil pipeline to free myself.
My tornado machine.
Now it's just a worthless pile of
73. Another copy of 73.
Still get plenty for it. He's right.
74.
Get plenty. About 20 years.
I don't remember who that is. That's one of the Mad Staffers. I don't know if that's the... That's not Sergio Aragonés. It might be the Spy versus Spy guy, Antonio Proteus. Oh shit, is it 9? That's 73, 74. I better... Hold on. Oh. No, it's not time for the superheroes yet.
Lancelot Link's Secret Chimp. Tune back Sunday mornings at 6:30 on the Throwback Television Network.
What? $74. Oh, that's out of order.
That's how the Navy hunts subs. And that's what you do in Mattel's new Sonar Sub Hunt game. It's the exciting
72.
battle game where you use the sonar scope to sink your
74.
opponent's submarine.
Okay.
Push the firing button. Here's
75.
That's one sub gone. Whether you
Another
score
copy of 75.
but watch out for mines. They can cause you a turn. Here's how you place your subs and mines.
Here's
To
76.
your periscope while your opponent tries to find them with the sonar. The first one to sink 7 subs wins the game. See if you can sink the subs in Mattel's Sonar Sub Hunt game. See it wherever toys are sold.
Here's a better copy of 76.
Mattel. It's swell.
What are you listening to? This Remco transistor radio I made myself. Wanna listen? It's a ball game. It's a real radio and it works great. Can I build one too? Sure. Remco makes it real
Hold on a
easy.
second.
All you have to do is put together all the parts that come in the Remco kit. The transistor, the tuner, and a separate loudspeaker for broadcasting. Can you do your own broadcasting too?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll do the announcing with this microphone while you work the radio. This is radio station REMCO, Remco, the do-it-yourself radio station. Oh boy, we're radio engineers!
Another ad parody.
Fellows, get your Remco radio at your favorite toy store.
76.
From $3.95
From
to
January of
$9.95.
63.
Every boy wants a Remco toy.
$77. You know what? I always did these parodies of comic strips. They just go ahead and put the artist's name by Johnny Hart, by Charles M. Schultz. Schultz loved the parodies in Mad and sent them letters about how much he enjoyed them. So he was on board. But when you do a parody of something, you're just using the actual name and the actual name of the artist seems
Why don't your men go after him, Chief?
kind of bold.
Until they get paid.
77.
Ronnie, we've got to locate Greasy Gus. My supersonic sonar radar will help me.
Maybe we should go out and look at the snow, man.
That big sonar radar.
78.
Peeps have located it.
How can you tell, Batman?
They're covered with that greasy peep stuff.
I have another copy that's not bad.
Greasy Gus, you're under arrest.
77, 78. Again, I'm writing them on here. Oh, there's the pen.
Well, anyway, I got his license number. Oh, that's a crap.
Okay, April of 63, 2 years before I was born.
My wings are like a shield of steel.
This gun doesn't shoot grease, it shoots bullets. And bullets cannot harm him either.
There's John Wilkes Booth getting primed for the job. Old crock. Wonder what the actual brand is. There was a Mad record, Think Along with Mad, that came out, and there was also this Mad rock and roll record. That one was pretty good. That had some good songs like She Got a Nose Job. They were all parodies of teen records from those. It's pretty good, like doo-wop songs and that kind of thing. 78.
Bridge out. They'll I'll go sailing off this cliff like greased lightning. But thinking karate go skidding into the sky.
79.
It looks as if their brilliant careers have finally hit the skids.
Now,
What a way to go! And with grease on my face. Patrick,
this shows the little that's written there, 328. That means this was put out on the stands March 28th, the end of March.
stupid tires!
So
Give you all a flat!
it's a June issue, so basically all of April and all of May, and then this is March, June. So they always, like I said, give it a 2-month window. 79. Here's another copy without a bag and board.
Yes, and you let the money go to your head.
'79. Man, I've always been into Mad, and so looks like I've wound up with more than I thought of the 60s. And it's not hard to do because they're not hard to find. As I said, Mad sold better than Marvel, DC, probably combined. Here's issue 80, July of '63.
$1 million has been bid for the manuscript. Going.
Is it true blondes have more fun? That looks like one of the protesters in Minneapolis, except it probably looks better than they do. Okay, these are all, guys that work for Mad that pose for these fake ads.
The mark of zero. Zero? I'm on my way.
There's another copy of the same issue. Who would have thought that? Because I'd find these out there in the world, and then I wouldn't know, do I already have that? Here's 81. I remember this is an important issue to me. I'll show you why. There was a radio DJ out of, I think he started in Ohio, but he was also in New York. It's called the Mad Daddy. I would encourage you to type his name into YouTube and listen to some air checks of what he sounded like. He talked in rhyme. He played the craziest, weirdest rock and roll records that you've never heard in your life. He was just insane. One time he jumped out of a plane on the air with a parachute. He eventually, what you're supposed to say on YouTube, unalived himself, unfortunately. But he was legendary, and the teenage Lex Interior, lead singer of the Cramps, was really into the Mad Daddy and did a song about him on one of the early Cramps records. So, and one of the lines is, "I've got a parachute to land on you." So I encourage you to listen to the Mad Daddy and also listen to that Cramps song, the Mad Daddy, for those of you that don't. This has got a pretty significant spine split. Ugh. But the reason I mention the Mad Daddy is he writes a letter in this letter column in issue number. You just look for the one with the 8 ball. Now, if Kevin got a copy of this issue 81, I'm going to want that. It says, think along with Mad. As a longtime fan of Mad, I was nuts I was nuts enough to be the first DJ to play your new Fink Along with Mad album. By the way, the record makes a terrific flying saucer. I found that out when our program director ripped it off the turntable, ran to the nearest open window, and skimmed it across Central Park. Some guys just aren't as mad as others. Pete Myers, WINS Radio, New York City. That was Wins, New York. Yeah, at this point in '63, he was in New York, which is good. That's the ultimate place to go. As a DJ, you want to wind up in Los Angeles or New York. You can't really get a better market than that. So who knows why he wound up doing. Oh shit! I know. I gotta hurry quick. I got to put in another disc because the Marvel Superheroes is about to start.
You're watching the Throwback Television Network. Find us on the web at Throwback TV.
Now, luckily they'll start with the Marvel Superheroes theme, so I won't miss anything, because it's an actual recreation of the theme. It looks like I'm gonna make it. I gotta, it takes a while to switch discs. I'll finish the rest of that disc here in a minute, or later on. I gotta turn the sound down. This will get me in trouble with Disney. Okay, yeah. You can't have that sound playing or those images. I probably already showed too much. I'm probably gonna have to cut some stuff out of this show because of that. Okay, so I was on issue 81. So anyway, that's important because I've always been into the Mad Daddy. There's even a book out about him, and I remember getting an audio cassette recording of his radio show, but now you had to trade it with some, but now you can just hear everything on YouTube. Here's the issue with Fidel Castro smoking an exploding cigar with Alfred Newman on it. That one's kind of roasted. This is another copy I have of the same issue. Okay, I want to have the camera here, but I don't want to get any of the Hulk image. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually the Avengers. Let's look at the old Iron Man there. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, so oh man, I don't have this issue. I've never seen that. It has a parody of TV Guide in it. How have I never seen that? It's Mad, for the latest Mad annual, more trash from Mad. I've never seen this issue ever. It's the 6th More Trash from Mad. Watch me already have it, but I don't think I do. I don't. I don't remember their TV Guide parody. Here's a parody of The Birds, the Hitchcock movie. So, October 63. We're getting, Basil Wolverton. We're getting close to the Kennedy assassination here. Look at that. Seasonal costumes. Oh, this is a magazine called Comic Land. It's a Little Orphan Annie with her wardrobe, all the same outfit, and glossy pinups you could get of your favorite comic strip characters. It's the Dragon Lady. Yeah. Who's the artist of this? I don't see the artist listed, man. Here's Daddy Warbucks. Let's get the commies out of the comics. Fantastic, man. And there'd be parodies of old TV shows that no one remembers. Apparently there was a show called The Nurses. So this is how I would learn a lot about the past, reading Mad Magazine and the reprints of the old stuff. October of 63. So if it's an October of 63 issue, that means this was on the stands in August of 63. So in a minute we'll find the actual issue that would have been on the stands when that happened. Okay, so December 63. It's another one of those I got at Doc's Records that I haven't taken out. Okay, December 63 would be October. Oh, okay. Wait, did I miss an issue? What's going on? 79, 80, 81 was September. 81, 81. 82 was October of 63. September, October. It looks like they didn't they must not put out an issue in November, because 82 is October of 63 and 83 is December of 63. I wonder if they skip the month every year. Okay, so 80, that means that 83, dated December of 63, would have had to have been the one on the stands during when Kennedy was assassinated. Here's the backing board is a Wagner record. It says, in order to sell products these days, Madison Avenue, Hollywood, television, other publishers, everybody exploits sex. But we'd never stoop that low. Okay, and the back cover is a parody of Newsweek, and that's exactly the logo Newsweek used back then, but of course it's Newsweek, like opposite of Strong here. Tearing up a copy of Mad. And really, seriously, if you just put this down on the end table, your father would pick it up and think it's an actual copy of Newsweek. But, of course, you'd open it up and it would be an upside down Mad. So I'm starting to get really hungry, man. Sometimes I look at George Woodbridge's art and I think for a second it's Wally Wood art, but I should know better. That's certainly a compliment to George Woodbridge. And this is all a bunch of people that must work in the same building. I don't think all of these people could be employees of MAD, but here's the same guy you saw in that ad a minute ago. So I'd have to, yeah, there's no, could all those people be employees of MAD? I figured that MAD had not more than a dozen people in the offices. I wonder if they just got everybody in the whole building into this ad. Let's see if I can spot William Gaines in there. Of course, at this point, Gaines wouldn't have the big Santa Claus beard. This is too early for that. But anyway, I think this would have been the you know, if you get all-day coverage of the Kennedy assassination and you're home from school, this would be the MAD you would probably pull out, the latest issue, and read to distract yourself, possibly. And I bet a lot of parents were upset by that cover, but not as much as later on, about 1973 or 74, when they had the middle finger cover. 83, okay, 84 is January of 64. And there's a guy you just saw in the crowd, so he's using these heads a lot. Here's a modern teenager. They got a lot of mileage out of the juvenile delinquents, which ironically EC Comics was trying to be framed along with other comic publishers as creating juvenile delinquency, and here they are making fun of juvenile delinquency. But of course, juvenile delinquency in the 1950s, kids in gangs, that all comes from a breakdown of the family. And when the father never comes back from World War II or the Korean War, that could create a problem, because really, you know, you can argue, but kids really need a mom and a dad, you know, if possible. You know, I mean, it's not, what can you do if your husband doesn't come back from the war? Just do your best. Hopefully there's a grandfather that can provide a role model. But you don't want your kids to seek out family out on the streets and join a gang. Here's 85. And we're in a period of transition here, March of 64. Really, the 50s ended on November 22nd, 1963, and then the 60s begin, and damn, man. Look at that. Is that amazing or what? The Vietnam War ramps up. This is Wally Wood art, obviously. He adds such wonderful violence into his comic strip parodies. Look at that. Although the Dick Tracy comic strip was very violent, I just, and his parody of Superman in the color comics was so great, in that the first panel, Superman's punching an old man in the stomach and his dentures are flying out of his mouth. That's when I became a lifelong Wally Wood fan. This guy's hiding Plato's Republic behind a copy of Playboy there. March of 64, number 85. So we've got 85, 86, the Lawrence of Arabia parody. Not Lucky Strike, but Lucky Strife. April 64. We're now 1 year before my birth. These are all the paperbacks that they had out at this time, or as Sticky Goose called them, small books. They're also called pocketbooks. Some people call it. Although pocketbooks might have been an actual product, like a brand name. But I remember people use that as a generic term. But paperbacks is really the more commonly used term. So 85, 86. I think from this point on, I'm going to probably have just about all of them. Just almost. 86, 85. Wait, where's 80, 85, 86? I've got 2 copies of that. 87. Yeah. Kevin got in some early mads that, I'm not going to be able, because we've got all kinds of financial problems right now. In fact, I have a GoFundMe going if you want to help with that. Just a huge bill for my eye surgery. My wife got, I don't think you'd call it laid off. It just, her job disappeared. The company just disappeared. Here's Angry Magazine. So we're facing a double, triple whammy from all around. I guess everyone is, but I think the economy is going to get better. I am a sit-in at my local drive-in. Just nothing but violence in this. Look at that, man. Fantastic. I just can't believe how wonderful this all is. 87. I may just go through about the time I was born and call it quits, and maybe come back later for a live stream, because I'm starting to get a headache, man. 87. 88. Oh, and 89 coming up is a great one. See, now we've got Norman Mingo doing the covers, and he was the guy doing the covers when I came along. More comic parodies. Little Orphan Annie is like a gun mall. Daddy-O. Man, I'm hungry. Um, 88. Yeah, 89. Let's see what condition my 89 is in. I just dropped in to see what condition my 89 is in. Because 89 is everything I love about the world, all contained on one cover. Mad, of course, I love Mad, and I love Frankenstein, and I love the Aurora model kits, and it's of course the Frankenstein was the first of the Aurora monster kits, and every kid built a Frankenstein model kit, at least any kid that was with, and but then Aurora put out an Alfred E. Newman kit, and I don't know if this cover inspired it or if this is they already knew that was going to happen. But oh, I hate when you get one that some idiot kid actually did the folding and actually pressed down, because normally you could. I would I would just kind of roll the cover, just kind of and squint and see what it was. But some kids actually press down and crease the cover. So from this point on, when the fold in started in the back, a lot of comics were damaged. This appeared to be The Fugitive. That was also in the first Mad that I got, the Mad special that it reprinted that. But that's a great cover. That's one that is worth making a color copy of and blowing up and having next to your monster model kit. So that's 89 from September of 64. And 89 would be followed by 90. This one has the beautiful Frazetta back cover, parody of Breck, and but it's Ringo Starr. Look at that, man. I wonder who owns that art now. Seems like Ringo Starr should have wound up with that original art. What is this? Oh, it's a Spider-Man cartoon. Yeah. Yeah. 89. Okay. 90. Ooh, I don't have issue 91, man. Wonder why. 90, 92. That's something. Well, here's 92 from January of 65. I just put a gas station attendant in my tank. Look at that great art. Okay, 92. One, two, three copies of that. 93. 93 was once owned by Chicken Man, Mike Harris. I have two copies of that one. I think this one, Mike Harris filled out one of the coupons in the book and never cut it out. And because of that, I think one time when I was bored, I did a search of the address of the house that he lived in. And it's interesting to know the history of the comic. Let's see if I'm right. I could be wrong. this 1965 calendar that was in one of the specials. Yeah, looks like I'm wrong. But this fold-in is cool, and that you see the 1964. There's Gomez and Morticia. There's Herman Munster. There's Julie Newmar, but not from Batman because that hadn't come on the air yet. That was from My Living Doll. There was Bewitched with a witch, and there's I Dream of Jeannie with the genie, but there was also a sitcom that people don't remember called My Living Doll, where a guy's married to a robot or has a girlfriend that's a robot, and she was in that. There's Mr. Magoo. There's the Skipper. Oh yeah, there's Samantha from Bewitched. It's got all the stuff that I grew up with was from around that time. Damn, man. Anyway, this is apparently somebody else. I think it might have been issue 81 was written in, and that caused me to, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes people will fill out a coupon, and they'll think, well, I'll just have this all filled out, and then when I get the money, I'll cut it out and send off for whatever it is. And then they never do. Wait a second, 91. What did I do? What is going on here? Oh, I got confused, man. I have two copies of one really bad copy with the Browning of this issue. So I have two copies of No, that's not 89. What? I'm all confused. This is all terrible. Let's see here. It's one of the worst catastrophes in the world. It's worse than the Hindenburg. Let's see, 89. Okay, so 87, 88. Okay, so I have two copies of 89, then a copy of 90. And then, but what I didn't see is I just wrote down that I didn't have 91, but I do have 91. It's this one. It says, if you think our last issue was bad, wait till you see this one. So I'm not missing 91, so let me write that on my thing. And what? Oh, we're at December of 64. Debussy. So they just cut up any classical record to help them cover to make a backing board. Okay, so that's that. 93. another copy of 93. Oh, here's 94, and this is dated the month of my birth, April 65, but it wouldn't be what I need for my birthday would be June of 65 is what I need. That's the one that would have been on the stand when I was born. Look at the people jumping out from the that's great. Not World Trade Center, Empire State Building. What am I saying? When I think of people jumping out of a building, immediately I think of the World Trade Center, unfortunately. 94. 90. I think I'm missing that issue. I would need, let's see, 90. Yeah, 90. I have 94 with the King Kong cover, but I'm missing 95, which would probably have been the one that would have been on sale when I was born. This is 96, and this one's dated July of 65. So July of 65, wait. I think that would have been on sale in May, yeah. That one's nice. Here's 97. 97 is September 65. Sounds like people are out there clearing the snow. Wait. I don't have 95. Why did I write that down? 96. Unless I saw 95. Okay, 90. I'm so hungry I'm messing up. 94, 96. 97 we just looked at. 98 is October of 65. '97, '98. '99 from December of 65. You will buy this copy, it's saying. That's 99. 100. 101. 99, 100, 101. April of 66, 102. Al Jaffe's another great artist that people need to talk about more often. Uh-oh. That was 102. I am missing 103. How about that? Shotgun wedding. She's being forced to marry him. 104. 105, September of 66. And September of 66, you back that up. July of 66, this would have been out on the stands right as, well, the Batman movie was in theaters in June of 66, I believe. And it started in January of 66 on ABC. There's 106. By the way, that Living Doll show I was telling you about, the one called My Living Doll, is on this Throwback TV channel. And they don't show Batman, but they show the Green Hornet on Saturday afternoons, or is it Sunday afternoons? Maybe both. 107. Yeah, later in the day when the cartoons stop, on Saturdays they have a monster, like a Creature Features monster movie, and they have Ultraman episodes. 107. 10. Oh wait, I'm missing some issues. 107. And then I'm missing all the way to 111. I don't think those would be expensive issues to get. Just 107 to 8, 9, 10. I'm missing 3 issues. And then here's 112, another King Kong. There's a lot of King Kong covers because William Gaines loved King Kong. He had his window in his office was made to look like King Kong was looking through the window from outside, climbing it. And he also loved Zeppelins. He had all these models of Zeppelins all around his office. Also, he was really into the Statue of Liberty. So William Gaines' office was filled with the Statue of Liberty stuff, merchandise, paraphernalia, and 113. All that stuff. Okay. Oh man, I am so hungry, man. Okay, this box has Cracked, Crazy, Sick, and some Omni in it, and some other junk. Issues of Maxim. I never got anything. It doesn't have all my Cracked, it just has a few issues. I have boxes of Cracked. And then I have a box of Mad Magazine, Mad Magazine box 2 here. Maybe I'll save this for my later stream. It's going to start with 114. Is there any discrepancy? Yeah, 113 was the last one in the last box, but look at the King's Court here. What do you have there? Those are all political celebrities. That was just a text message. I don't know what that might have been for my wife. Maybe she's ready to eat. Let's go look at the snow real quick. Oh boy. So how are you guys doing? Let's turn these lights off. Yeah, this has been quite the winter. Is it snowing out there? I don't see snow, but oh boy. Well, I got stuff to do. Oh, look at the little kitten there sleeping there. Well, I will see you guys later. I'm going to get something to eat. So now I've gotten up to Mad 114 and know what I have and what I don't have. And hopefully you were entertained by this incredible voyage. And make sure you tune into this throwback television channel because it's pretty great, man. I have to admit. Oh, Iron Man. Well, I'll see you guys.